Hey there, welcome back to another Queer Money Debt-Free Guys Live.
What are we calling this?
Yeah,
Queer Money Live?
We have no clue what it is.
Welcome to our live.
Right. So this week we asked a question in the group about basically what you wanted to talk about in our Facebook Live around relationships and money. And the number one question evidently means that there's a lot of sugar daddies in this group because the most sought after question was how to talk to your partner or have the conversation about money when you make or your partner makes significantly more than you. So what we're really talking about is this disparity of income. So like I said, either you're a sugar daddy or you're a sugar boy. So either one of you is listening to this, you're going to get some information out of that.
Exactly.
So a real goal when you have this kind of situation in your money relationship is to figure out, why are you asking this question? Why do you want to have this conversation? So why is that?
Right. Yeah. So we thought about this for quite a while, and to us, this is not about necessarily how do you should you commingle your assets with your partner, your new partner or an older partner. What it is, it's really asking is what the underlying question is. How do you avoid feelings of resentment or inadequacy? If you have disparate incomes, you could run into to a feeling of where your partner doesn't feel like he's pulling his weight, or you feel like you're covering all the expenses, and so that can create resentment that over time will make your relationship less healthy and enjoyable. So That's, to us, what we really want to address this week.
Right. And there's really four feelings. Two if you make a lot more money, two if you make a lot less money. These four feelings that you can have. If you make a lot more money than your partner, then the feelings that you could have is either you feel obligated to pay for more or for more things or everything, or you feel like you're maybe being taken advantage of. On the flip side, if you make considerably less than your partner, you could feel like you're not pulling your weight. At the same time, someone might feel like they are entitled, that because they make less money, the other one should pay more. And the problem is all four of those feelings are negative. Those are negative feelings. They, as John mentioned, could bring about that feeling of resentment, that feeling of being taken advantage of, and all of that is negative. And what that will eventually lead to is it'll lead to money disagreements, arguments, and potentially the end of your relationship. As gays and lesbians and bisexual, transgendered individuals, we are no different than the heterosexual population in the fact that money is the number one reason why our relationships end. So we want to fix that, right? So we need to think about what are the solutions so that we don't have these feelings when one of us makes more than the other. And just to clue you in, that's the way John and I have been for a considerable amount of time. When John and I first got together, he was making about 20% more than me. Today, I bring in the lion's share of the money because he is focused on working on our business. But we have learned how to balance that through the years, and we're going to give you some suggestions as to what we did and some suggestions of what we've talked to some other people and how they figured it out as well.
Right. So that the number one objective there is to understand the underlying question. What is it you're trying to avoid, depending on which side of the balance sheet you're on. The other objective is, as David alluded to, you want to keep an open dialogue, because what works today for your relationship might not work tomorrow. So when I was making more money, we might have managed our money one way. Now that David's making more money, we manage our money maybe a different way.
I control it all.
Yeah,
we know that's not true.
But and it might not just be based on who makes more money, but it could just be where you are in your relationship at that point. If you're newer to your relationship, you might want to manage your money one way. If you've been in your relationship for several years, you might want to manage your money a different way. So the idea is to, one, understand the underlying questions, and two, then keep an open dialogue so that regardless of what side of the income stream you're on, you're keeping your feelings open, and then you and your partner can shift whatever you need to do with your financial relationship as necessary.
Right. So what are some strategies? What are some things that you can do if you or your partner make considerably more money? So we're going to kind of walk through three strategies here.
Yeah, we've basically got two strategies and one wild card. But the way that we like to look at our relationship anyway is that in addition to being a love and sensual relationship, it's also a partnership. And how do you manage a partnership typically one of two ways. It's either a 50-50 split or it's percentage based. So a 50-50 split pretty much means that you and your partner are dividing all your expenses in, basically doing halvesies. Your phone bill or your cable bill is $100. Each of you splits
Let's hope not.
the cable bill and covers $50 of it, or 50-50. The percentage base is you cover the expenses based on what percentage of the income you bring home. So if you make more money and you have a $100 cable bill, you might pay 75% of the cable bill, while your partner who makes less money might pay 25% of the cable bill, or $75, $25. And the same thing can be applied broadly, whether it's rent, mortgage, vacation, groceries. You can divide it 50-50 or percentage based.
Right. The great thing about the 50-50 is if you're making considerably more money, then you have a lot more money that you can put aside for investments, whether that's for investments for yourself, as in your retirement account, or maybe you're investing money so that you and your partner can do something, or your husband and wife can do something in the future. The other thing about the splitting based on percentages is that oftentimes people feel like they're actually pulling their own weight based on the amount of money that they make. Now, the wild card option here is a combo of the two. Right. So, and we suggest this to a lot of individuals, that when one of you makes considerably more, what you do is you decide on a certain set of expenses that you are going to split 50-50. So say, for example, you have your living expenses, your mortgage or your rent, your car payments, or your, as John mentioned, cable bill, phone bill, those kinds of things. Lump those together and say, we're going to split those 50-50. Now, it's up to you what goes into that pool, but decide which ones of those you want to split 50-50. And then take another set of expenses, say, for example, vacations or certain activities like dining out, and take those activities and say, those ones we're going to split based on our percentage income. And what really that allows you to do, and we have an acquaintance who literally is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This individual, he and his partner do this. He feels like he wants to enjoy his life and he wants his partner with him. So when he decides that they're going to take a trip to Europe, or when they decide that they're going to go on a cruise, he takes care of the payment on that, because he feels he wants to pay for a larger percentage of those kinds of experiences in life. So really this is kind of like I said, it's a combo or a hybrid of the 50-50 split or the percentage split, because it allows you both to feel like you're doing your fair share when it comes to the money in the relationship.
Right. But to me, the key is to have the discussion, be open and honest with each other. There's definitely a solution for your particular relationship, but you're never going to reach that solution that keeps your relationship amicable unless you talk about it. So
Right.
Continue to talk about it. And this, in addition to having this one conversation at the get-go, have this conversation quite regularly, whether it's, when you do your monthly bills or on a quarterly basis, whatever works for the two of you, but be open and honest with each other. 'Cause that's the real key here, because as we said before, this isn't so much about actual strategy, it's about what is the objective. And the objective is to keep a happy relationship.
Right, exactly. The whole idea of managing your money together is that you can be a partnership. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to combine accounts, but we'll talk about that. I think that's one of the things we're going to cover coming up in the next week or two. Yeah. Since we did ask 3 questions and several of you said, I want you to discuss all 3 of them.
We heard you loud and clear.
Yeah, we definitely heard you loud and clear. We will cover all 3 of those. So stay tuned for us to do this, another question, same time next week on Saturday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, noon Eastern.
You're not so sure about that, are you?
Yeah, I got getting screwed up on my times here.
Yeah, so next week we're actually going to talk about how to make progress in your financial situation when your partner isn't necessarily on board with improving your financial situation. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about exactly how to commingle funds. This particular topic today wasn't about commingling funds. It's just about how to manage relationships. But commingling funds is a different, more of a strategic topic, and we wanted to cover that separately. So definitely join us next week and the following week at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday.
Yeah. And remember, if you have any questions on this topic, please go ahead and put them in the comments. John and I are in the group regularly. we will watch for the comments and we'll respond.
Yep. Thank you for your engagement and letting us know what you want to talk about. And we'll be sure to take more polls in the future.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.